Perfect. So we're recording, so go ahead if you're ready.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome everyone. My name is Su-Ling Ching and I'm the President and CEO of the Ottawa Board of Trade. I want to welcome you here today. Thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to learn more about this exciting new program that we are launching. As you know, the Ottawa Board of Trade's primary role and responsibility in our business community is to advocate for policies and programs that help create a competitive business environment and help you scale your business. And during this time, we have been very focused on working with partners at the local level, but also the provincial and the federal level to deliver programs that are meaningful and timely for all of you. And today is no exception. So we have been working with the Ontario Chamber of Commerce and our partners at Magnet to deliver this new program. You may know that Magnet has been a partner of the Ottawa Board of Trade for some time now, offering all of our members the opportunity to connect with talent through our job board. And we have some exciting new programs around exporting as well coming up. But today we're here to talk about the delivery of the Student Work Placement Program and an opportunity for you as employers to access post-secondary students for real work experience and have the opportunity to also receive a training subsidy to help integrate them into your business. So it's my pleasure today to welcome our keynote speaker, Amy DePalma. She is the project coordinator at Magnet supporting our Chamber Partnership Initiative. She's been working at Magnet for the last 8 months within the industry engagement team and is our point of contact for chambers across Ontario and all of our members for the Student Workplace Program. Amy has been an incredible support for our organization so far. I know that she has a high level of service for all of our members and employers in the Ottawa region as well. So I invite her to share her presentation, and I encourage all of you to use our Q&A to ask questions throughout the presentation, and then at the end of the presentation, we'll have all of your questions answered. So without further ado, please welcome Amy DePalma.
Thank you so much, Su-Ling and Leanne, for having me today. And thank you to all of the Ottawa Board of Trade members for joining us today. I'm really excited to be presenting to the Chamber Partnership Initiative, especially to the Student Work Placement Program. Leanne and Su-Ling have been working very hard on this partnership for a couple of months now to ensure that it's ready to be rolled out to the members. So I'm really, really honored to be here to speak to you about the program today. Just to start off, I'm going to show a 1-minute video that will talk about the Chamber Partnership Initiative and some of the offerings that are part of the partnership to you, the members of the Ottawa Board of Trade. And then I'll get into the Student Work Placement Program specifically and how it can help you hire that young talent for your business needs moving forward. Apologies if the triangle stays in the middle of the slide while the video plays. For some presentations it does, and other presentations it disappears.
Introducing the Chamber Partnership Initiative, supporting chambers and their members. Boost your business with student talent. Wage subsidies of up to $7,500 are available to employers who hire Canadian post-secondary students. Student work integrated learning experiences can help businesses or local healthcare providers with support for project-based work in digital marketing, market research, customer sales and support, technology support, accounting and finance, frontline healthcare services, and more. Tap into a skilled and energetic student talent pool with Canada's largest student recruitment platform. Reach students at more than 85 Canadian post-secondary institutions with one job posting. Your account also connects you to updates on funding programs and COVID-19 recovery resources. Reach a national audience of job seekers and grow your business with one platform. Join your chamber portal, powered by Magnet, to get started.
Okay, wonderful. So that's just an introduction to anything about the Chamber Partnership Initiative. Today I'm going to talk to about the initiative, as well as how it's addressing those economic challenges that we have been facing since the beginning of COVID-19 and into the beginning of this year. I will talk specifically about the financial supports that are offered to you through the Student Work Placement Program, and I'll get into some specific SWPP employer scenarios. This is my favorite slide of the presentation because it really shows you that this program is not a one-size-fits-all, and it really is a win-win for any employer who's looking to hire a young talent for their business, and there is a way to tailor the program to your specific business needs. I'll also talk about additional chamber member and supports through this partnership and how to apply for the Student Work Placement Program funding. So just to get started a little bit about the Chamber Partnership Initiative, it is a partnership with Magnet and the Ontario Chamber of Commerce to help address the economic recovery for Canadian businesses. So this partnership is really all about empowering those chambers and their members with technology, resources, and funding, as well as support all at no cost because the Ottawa Board of Trade has joined in on this partnership. So they're offering all of these resources and this technology and this program to its members at no cost to you. So the main part of the partnership is that Student Work Placement Program, and that is one of the financial wage subsidies that is offered where you can hire a student and receive up to $7,500 back in wage subsidies for a work term that you've hired them for. So again, the partnership is to address those economic challenges that we've been facing. I think that COVID-19 threw a lot of our small and medium-sized businesses, especially for a loop. Many have been forced to shut their doors numerous times throughout the past year and a half, and we've all had to learn how to adapt to try to continue growing our business and keep our businesses open during these times. So a lot of us have been having to turn to technology more and more to keep our businesses growing. So this is a wonderful opportunity to assist small, medium, and even larger businesses with hiring students to come in and assist at your work to provide any project research or any sort of work that has to do with their program of study, where you're able to hire them as a full-time or a part-time employer, but you're going to receive a wage subsidy for the salary. So you as a business, you're getting that talent and that additional help that you need, but you're also providing an amazing opportunity for a young student. I'm extremely passionate about this program. I'm one of those students who, when I finished my first degree, I had no idea where I was going because I didn't take any placement or co-op program. I was in the lecture halls and in the books. So when I finished my first degree, I just kept going back and getting additional degrees. And it wasn't until I took my master's where I finally had that amazing field placement where I realized how to take everything that I'd learned inside that lecture hall and apply it into the real world. So this program is all about providing our students today and preparing them for the workforce in the future. It's an amazing opportunity, again, for any businesses and members of the Ottawa Board of Trade to be a part of this opportunity to offer a student in a post-secondary institution with a work-integrated learning opportunity while receiving this wage subsidy. So the program reimburses eligible employers for 75% of wages to a maximum of $7,500 for each placement. Placements coincide with the student's semester. So we just completed the fall term, which would have run from September 1st until the end of December. Applications are currently still open for that term. So if you had a student in fall, you may be eligible to apply for a retroactive payment. Deadlines are fast approaching, so I'll talk about the winter term, which we are now in. That runs from January 1st until the end of April, so April 30th. So if you as a business are interested in hiring a student for any time in between January 1st and April 30th, you may be eligible to receive this wage subsidy for the salary that you'd be giving the student during that period of time. And then they combine the spring-summer term into one semester as well, and that runs from May 1st until the end of September, September 30th. As a business, you can hire as many students as you would like. Each application is independent of one another, and each application is eligible to receive that $7,500 of wage subsidies in return. So this is my favorite slide, as I was saying before, because it really shows you how you can tailor this program to meet your individual business needs. So scenario one is Bob's Bake Shop. Bob is a local shop owner and he's hired a graphic design student during the winter semester, so from January 1st to April 30th, to build his website for his business. So prior to COVID-19, Bob didn't really have a great online presence, so now he's revamped his entire business model. He wants to be able to sell his baked goods online and have those goods delivered to him. So he's going to hire a student to assist with this online revamp. He's able to pay the student the sum of $10,000 for 3 months of full-time work. So his student is going to be working from 9 to 5, and he'll be reimbursed $7,500 for the student hire. Our second scenario is a live well retirement home. So this one is a little bit different. The long-term care facility is hiring a student who's looking to complete their field placement to become a personal support worker during the winter 2021 semester. The student is going to be paid $5,000 for the work throughout the semester. So this is based on a sum of their hourly wages, because in this business, you don't necessarily have the same hours of 9 to 5 every day. For example, some shifts you may be working 12 to 14 hours, and then you may not be working the next day. So this business knows that they're going to pay a total of $5,000 for that semester for the student, and then they'd be eligible to receive $3,750 back in wage subsidies for that placement. And the last one, Molly's Marketing, is all about hiring a student for a short-term basis. So I always use tax season as one of these examples as well. Maybe you're a business who is looking for 4 weeks or 5 weeks of someone to come in and assist in getting your financials in order for tax season. So you just need to hire somebody from the end of February until the beginning of April. You would be eligible to apply for the student work placement program. So you'd be hiring a student on a short-term basis. Again, for this example, from February 1st to March 15th. And for this example, they're assisting with their busy season. The agency would be paying the student $3,500, and they'd be eligible to receive a wage subsidy of $2,625 back into their pocket. Now, with the student work placement program, it is important to understand that as the employer, you're hiring a student to complete part of their work integrated component that is part of their program of study. So most programs in a college or university do have the option or the ability to be part of a work integrated learning program. There are many different types of work integrated learning. Some of them, for example, are a co-op, a field placement, a research assistant. Some of it is just considered work experience or an internship. There's a lot of different types of work integrated learning. For someone who's taking a degree, a general degree in psychology, for example, if they opted out of taking work integrated learning, they would simply just need to contact their office of the registrar, notify them that they are going to be taking this work experience. That would be added to their transcript, and now that student has become eligible to work at your company. So it really is a win for you as the employer, because you're able to hire this young talent, and you're going to get a student who is really keen and excited to be there because they want to get off of their computer and into the real world and into those experiences, so that they can say, this is exactly what I want to do when I'm done school. And it's a win for you, because you're not having to pay that full salary. And it's also an amazing opportunity to be able to kind of test drive an employer for the future. So a lot of businesses that have been a part of this program, we've had some amazing feedback from them that have said, I hired a student, a co-op student, who actually had an 8-month term. So they were able to hire them for 2 semesters. And after the semester, they ended up keeping them on as a full-time student once they graduated, because they didn't have to train somebody again. The student had known their business inside and out, and they had done a wonderful job. So it was a really amazing fit for the student to now graduate and have a full-time position, and a great fit for the company, because they got that wage subsidy for those 8 months, and then they also in turn now received a full-time worker on their payroll working for their business. So because the Ottawa Board of Trade is a partner with Magnet for the Chamber Partnership Initiative, you as the member are going to receive additional supports every step of the way for your application process. So you will have access to guides on how to complete the SWPP application. Leanne and Suling have videos and Word documents that show you step-by-step how to complete these applications. They are government applications, so there are steps along the way, but everything is outlined for you. And if you do have any questions about your application, you can reach out to them as well as myself, and we can walk you through it in real time together to ensure that it is submitted and that there are no problems looking at eligibility for yourself or for your student. You'll also receive access to Canada's largest student recruitment platform that was mentioned in the video. So that is called Outcome Campus Connect. So for a lot of these placements, many people have a student in mind that they know is currently in school and looking for this work integrated learning component. There are other companies who have a really great relationship with their post-secondary institution, such as Carleton, that we have on the call with us today, so they can access that student talent by connecting with their post-secondary institution's co-op offices. And another way is to post the job for the placement on Outcome Campus Connect. So you'd be able to select a specific province, even a specific school that you'd like to target to recruit your student from. So if you're looking to hire an engineering student, for example, and you know that the University of Waterloo has a really wonderful and robust engineering program, you'd be able to post your job to the University of Waterloo website, as well as any other schools that are interested to you. One job posting will reach as many schools as you choose to select, so you don't have to take that time applying to each of those job boards. Then you'll be connected to students who are in that program that meet your criteria to interview them for the position. You'll also receive assistance completing the invoices and compiling any of the necessary paperwork along the way. We have a ton of resources and guides to help with the student work placement program. And again, I'm here to support Leanne and Sue Ling, and they're here to support you with any of the questions that you have along the way. So this just shows how to apply for funding. I tried to break it down into 5 steps and then show you what goes along with each of those steps. The first step would be to create your own account on your Chamber's portal. So when you log on to the homepage for the Ottawa Board of Trade, there will be a button that will direct you to sign up for their Magnet portal. That takes about 30 seconds. All you're doing is putting your employer name, your personal name and email address, and creating a password. You then receive an email to activate your account. From there, the first thing you're going to see when you log in, it will say, apply for the Student Work Placement Program. So it's 2 clicks and you're taken to the application process. I encourage any employers who are interested to apply for the wage subsidy first. When you get into Outcome Campus Connect, you have the ability to post for the job, and you also can apply for the funding. I encourage employers to apply for funding because it does take about 2 weeks to receive a notification of your eligibility. And in those 2 weeks, you'd be able to look for a student if you have not had one already hired, or if you would be able to post a job to hire a specific student and complete that interview process. So that would go along with step 3, securing your student talent. I'll get into the eligibility of a student in the next couple of slides for you, but once you've secured the talent, you're going to enter their details into the system, and then you're going to finalize your SWPP application. Your student will submit a document that shows that they are currently enrolled in a post-secondary institution in Canada, and then you're going to submit invoices. So when you submit your invoices, you show the first pay stub, the last pay stub of the student placement that will have the total gross salary for that placement, and the Magnet team will review those invoices, and then you're paid out the subsidy at the end of the placement within 45 to 60 days of Magnet receiving that invoice. So again, just want to make sure that it's clear that with this wage subsidy, you aren't paid bi-weekly for the student as you'd be paying them out. You get paid at the end of the placement for all of the work that the student has completed for you. So your next steps are to connect with your local chamber. So there's the email address there for you. Understand your SWPP needs. This is very important. So as I've been doing the presentation, I'd like to point out that as an employer, you do not have to hire a student full-time. You could be hiring a student part-time. So maybe you just need somebody to work 20 to 25 hours a week. You don't need somebody to work the full 40 hours a week. What is it that you need the assistance with? Is it somebody to come in and revamp your whole website for you and be in charge of social media and marketing for your company? Or is it that you're looking for a student to come in and be working on the back end of things and assisting with your financials within your business? So understand exactly what it is that you would benefit from most by having that access to the talent within your business. A lot of questions that I get with these applications are, what is the shiny number that I should be paying the student per hour? I like to make sure that every employer understands their own financial needs before completing this application. There is no right or wrong answer to this. Obviously, it has to be minimum wage or greater, but if you take a look at your finances and you say, I can afford to pay $5,000 for the student, then that's what you would work at the hourly wage around. There's no pressure to be saying, I have to pay the student $10,000 to receive the full $7,500 back. Absolutely not. Make it work for what works for your business currently in your financial situations. And then of course, create your chamber business portal account and begin your application online. I've put the link there, and I know that Leanne was going to put it in the chat for all of you. So I encourage you after this presentation to first thing to log in and create your account and have a look around at their chamber portal. And if you are interested, to begin that SWPP application. And again, if you have any questions along the way, your chamber team is here to support you, and I'm here to support them as well as you from start to finish of your application. The last part of the presentation is the specific eligibility requirements that are associated with the Student Work Placement Program. So first thing I will discuss is the eligibility of the employer. So anybody on this call today, you are a member of your chamber, so I can assure that you're eligible as being a registered Canadian business or a not-for-profit, a hospital or a long-term care facility or post-secondary institution. Federal, provincial, territorial, and municipal governments would not qualify for this wage subsidy. As the employer, you need to be committed to paying the student for the role in full and providing that quality learning experience. So you really should look at it as you are going to be the mentor for the student throughout the work placement that you're providing for them. And of course, having that financial capacity to pay for the student upfront for the duration of the placement in full, because you are given the wage subsidy again upon completion of the placement. With COVID-19, the Government of Canada has introduced a few changes to the program in response to the economic times that we're facing. So it's been around for over a year now. So last year they did add in these changes to benefit the employers. Employers will have the flexibility to postpone placement start dates to avoid rescinding placements. Employers will be able to apply for funding before they finalize their selection of their students to hire. So again, that's why I encourage you all to log on, create your employer application if you don't have a student as of yet, and get your foot in the door to ensure that you are eligible as the employee. Students can work from home now, which is wonderful. So many positions are remote and can be remote, but if you are an employer where your position is not able to be done remotely, you would still be able to qualify. You would just check off that the student actually has to be on site right now, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. A lot of employers say, well, is that going to disqualify me? Absolutely not. If you're an essential service and you need to have your employer working on site, then that's totally acceptable. Post-secondary institutions are able to apply and be the employer of record currently as well. And there are 1,500 placements that have been set aside for hospitals and long-term care facilities. So I think that's a wonderful addition, because those are the areas that have been extremely hard hit during COVID-19 and again, continuing into this year. So it's wonderful that they have the opportunity to have specific placements set aside for those two sectors. The next point of eligibility is for the students. A student needs to be registered as a domestic student in a recognized Canadian post-secondary institution. So what that means is that they cannot be attending a private career college. For example, DeVry, if the student is attending a private career college, and they would not be eligible for the program. The student needs to be a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, a person to whom refugee protection has been granted. So if you are an international student with a work permit, you would not be eligible. So again, as the employer, those are the two things that you want to ensure that your student has prior to offering them the position. If they are in a recognized Canadian post-secondary institution, currently enrolled, so the student is going to have to provide proof of enrollment, which can be a transcript or a letter from the office of the registrar. And then you as the employer want to ensure that they are a Canadian citizen, because you're going to be attesting to the fact that they are not international and that they do meet the eligibility requirements. And then the third part of eligibility for the students is that they do have that work integrated learning component. So again, co-op or internship are just two examples, but you do want to ensure that they have that component as part of their program of study during the semester that you will be providing them with that placement. Again, many students have this as part of their program, and it's just as simple as calling their office of the registrar, inquiring about adding this to their transcript if they are currently not enrolled in a work integrated learning component as part of their program of study, and then they would be eligible as well. Students can also be enrolled full or part-time, and with this delivery partner with Magnet and the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, they can be in any program of study. So there are other delivery partners of the Student Work Placement Program across Canada, but those delivery partners really tap into a specific program of study, such as engineering or technology, for example. With the partnership with Magnet and the Ontario Chamber of Commerce through the Ottawa Board of Trade, you can hire a student that is taking any degree that has this work integrated learning component, and they would be eligible. So that opens up a vast amount of resources and talent, and also again allows many different businesses to be able to take advantage of the Student Work Placement Program. It isn't just focusing on engineering or the technology sector. Another wonderful thing to note is that it's not just for students in their undergrad. So if you are a student and you're taking your doctorate, and you're a mature student and you're taking your doctorate part-time, a business would be able to hire you if you have that work integrated learning component in your doctorate for that really specific need for their business. So you can be 40 years old, still enrolled in school, and you'd be able to qualify for this program. And then the last point of eligibility is for the placements. So they can also be full or part-time, as we mentioned earlier in the presentation. Stacking with provincial tax credits is allowed, but obviously it's up to you as the employer to consult a tax professional. I do get questions about this sometimes, and I always give the same answer. I am not a tax professional, so please consult one just to ensure that you are following all of those guidelines. Partial government funds from provincial, territorial, or municipal sources are allowed, but only funds from non-governmental sources can be subsidized under this program. So for example, if you're receiving a wage subsidy from a provincial, territorial, or municipal source for 60% of the salary, you'd be eligible to apply for the remaining 40%, but you'd receive up to 75% of that remaining 40%, not the total, since you're already receiving a wage subsidy for the first 60%. And then a placement cannot be funded by this program in any other source of federal funding. So that really just means there's no double dipping. So there are other federally funded wage subsidies, such as the Canada Summer Jobs or Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy. So if you currently have a student that you've hired that is using any of those government funds, you would not be able to apply for SWPP for the same student. However, if you have used those fundings in the past, you'd be able to apply. If you currently have somebody else on your payroll that is not a student, for example, and you're using the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy for their salary, you would still be eligible to apply for the Student Work Placement Program for a different student that you'd be hiring as well. Funding is limited and administered on a first-come, first-served basis. So again, I encourage, if you're interested in this program, to complete the beginning steps of that employer eligibility application. It takes about, I want to say 7 to 10 minutes at the most. Information that you're asked when you begin the application are just general information about your organization. So it asks for your name, the phone number, the address, how many employers you have, for example. And then it will ask you to give the details about the placement. So that's why I say make sure you understand your SWPP needs. So you would be entering the job title for the placement, the hours that the student would be working, the type of will that you'd be hiring from. So if it's a co-op, you'd be entering co-op, for example. You'd be entering the position that they would, like all of the duties that they'd be doing for that placement as well. If you're going to be posting a job for this placement, I suggest having all this information on a Word document. It will save you a lot of time in the end because it's essentially the same thing that you're typing in twice. So if it's on a Word document, you're just able to copy and paste it over from the application over into the job posting as well. And then before I pass it on, I just want to say that with this group, you guys have an amazing opportunity. With Karen being here from Carleton, you already have a foot in the door with one of the local post-secondary institutions within your community. So It's a wonderful way to get started and to reach out to students and to find students. You'd be able to send an email or pick up the phone or talk to them through Su-Ling and Leanne and let them know that this is the placement opportunity that you're hoping to provide, and then be able to hopefully find a student for you that would be a really great match for your placement. And that's the end of my presentation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy. That was fantastic. And what's really exciting about this program is not just for the opportunity for our employers to have some funding, but also work integrated learning has been identified as one of the key ways for us to address talent and talent gaps in our community. So we really appreciate the great work that you're doing to facilitate this. Why we're also lucky in Ottawa, of course, is that we have great partnerships and members who are post-secondary institutions that have terrific co-op programs that can connect employers with students, including Ottawa U and La Cité and Algonquin College. And today we have with us Karen Kudrowski from Carleton, who is also going to share with us a bit about her particular co-op program and co-op programs in general, just so that you can have a flavor for how you can work with our local post-secondary institutions in order to facilitate an even more valuable experience with this program. So welcome, Karen. Karen is the team lead for the business development team with Carleton University's Cooperative Education Program. She has over 25 years of experience working with public and private sector employers, and she is currently responsible for leading a team of 6 business development professionals who are responsible for co-op opportunities for the students at Carleton's Cooperative Education Program. So welcome, Karen, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much, Su-Ling, and to the Board of Trade. We really appreciate this opportunity to share some information about Carleton University's co-op program and our students. Awesome presentation, Amy. That was really good information to share with everyone. And I agree, the Student Work Placement Program is an exciting opportunity for both students and employers. And in my 13 years, I think, of being involved in co-op, I don't think there has ever been, more and better financial support to employers to help them with the cost of hiring a student. So it's really exciting to see. I'm just going to put on my presentation here for everybody and share my screen with you. So to tell you a little bit about Carleton's co-op program, we can definitely help you build your workforce. And as Amy mentioned in her presentation, there's different ways that employers can find their students. And one of the ways, and one of the ways you can access talent is through the Carleton co-op program. We are the 3rd largest co-op program in Ontario with nearly 3,000 students in co-op work terms each year. And our students bring exceptional talent and a lot of enthusiasm to learn and apply new skills. Basically, they're very keen and excited to take what they're learning in their coursework and apply it to your workplace settings and basically to contribute to the work that you're doing. We work with many local employers to assist them with their student recruitment and help them build their workforce. And there are a number of reasons why an employer might hire a co-op student. It's a very cost-effective way to help with short-term projects. Or if you have something that's a little more complex and longer term, some of our students can work and are available for longer terms to assist you with those more complex and demanding projects. Resoundingly, though, our employers tell us that hiring Carleton Co-op is one of their most effective recruitment strategies for filling their future permanent positions. We sometimes like to call co-op the 4-month interview because it gives employers the opportunity to identify their future talent over the course of the co-op work term. So why choose Carleton Co-op? And I think as Amy mentioned in step 3, in terms of how you could go about sourcing and selecting your talent, hiring through Carleton's Co-op program is a great way to do that and to find your students. And some of the I think advantages and benefits that our program offers. First of all, we have extended and flexible work terms that allow our employers to gain a higher level of productivity. So our students are available, a typical work term, I should outline first, a typical co-op work term is roughly 4 months in duration, and it's full-time work. And our students are available to complete work terms in the fall, the winter, or the summer term. We also have that opportunity or flexibility where students are available for 4, 8, 12, and in some cases even as long as 16 months, depending on the academic program that they're enrolled in. So there's, depending on what your hiring needs, there's some really good options there and availability with our students. Hiring through our co-op program also provides our employers with access to high-performing students. Everyone is looking for the best and the brightest, and we have exceptional students at Carleton. All of the students who come into our co-op program must be at least in their second year standing or heading into third year. So you are getting a senior level student when you're posting positions and hiring through our program. Students must also attain and maintain a grade point average to participate in our program. And at Carleton, co-op is centrally managed through our office, which basically for you as an employer is giving you access to students in over 100 different degree programs. So whether you are looking to hire a business student, an engineering student, IT, arts, public affairs, science, you can accomplish recruiting from all those different degree programs by recruiting through Carleton Co-op. Our team also provides support at every point of your recruitment, and our process is very employer friendly. And to break that down a little bit in terms of what that means, when you hire through our co-op program, we can help creating a job description. So if you've never hired a student before and you're starting from scratch, our team can assist you with pulling together a good job description. We can help you with posting the opportunity on our CU Hire job board, which gives your organization visibility with your target students. We help with scheduling your interviews. You simply tell us when you're available and when you'd like to hold the interviews, and we have a team who can help you set that up. And we can also extend offers to students on your behalf. So our flexible approach allows for continuous hiring where students are hired on a first come, first served basis. Positions are typically posted for about 5 business days, and then we work with you to finalize your hiring quickly. And lastly, funding resources are available, as we've heard, in terms of the student work placement program, some great funding available right now. And the co-op tax credit, I'll just touch on that as well. For private sector companies in the province of Ontario, the Ontario tax credit is a 25 to 30% credit to a maximum of $3,000. So, if you were to combine that with funding from the Magnet Student Work Placement Program, it becomes, I think, a pretty attractive financial incentive if you're considering hiring a co-op student. Oops, sorry, went too far here. Last but not least, just wanted to say thank you very much. Again, we appreciate this opportunity. We are right now in summer recruitment. So basically that's for students who would work for 4 months starting in May. And please, my contact information is here. I'm happy to work with you and to help you with your hiring. And it would be our pleasure to do that. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Karen. We really appreciate that and all the great work you're doing. And I think we have a website page with all of this information on ottawabot.ca. And we're going to add the information from all of our post-secondary institutions on there as well. So you have easy access to connect with all of them. So we appreciate that, Karen. Now we do have some questions, I believe, Leanne.
Yes, I have a list of questions we can go through. If you want, I can ask them.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you. That'd
So
be
we'll
great.
get started. So the first question, Amy, can we hire students for summer research with this program in universities? Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, you're on mute.
Of course. So as Karen had mentioned, they're recruiting for students right now. The spring semester is combined with summer, so from May 1st until September 30th. And one of the WIL components of that work integrated learning is a research assistant. So it's a great opportunity. I saw that you said you don't have enough students, so I encourage you. The application, you guys are very fortunate because the Ottawa Board of Trade is a member. They actually have access to spring summer applications currently. Other companies that are applying not through a chamber aren't able to apply for spring summer yet. So I encourage you to log on today and put those applications through for spring summer. Earlier is always better than later on.
Great. Our second question, does this program cover all of Canada or just Ontario?
It is a federally funded program. So we at Magnet and with the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, we've actually rolled out almost across Canada now. We just need to launch in British Columbia and into the territories still.
You're on mute, Leanne.
Thank you. We have a question around deadline. So when is the deadline to apply?
Okay, no, that's a very good question. So I know I mentioned earlier that if you had hired a student in the fall, you could still retroactive, or you could apply currently for that retroactive payment. So the fall application deadline, so if you have had a student working with you from September till December, you could apply, you need to complete your employer creation by March 15th. So that means just log on, submit your application for employer eligibility. March 15th is the deadline for that. And then you're going to have to submit all of the student information between April 1st. The student application would need to be completed by April 15th. So that means that you have, when you apply, you'll see that you're going to enter your student information. Since you've already had the student working with you already, you will know their information. So you would check off the box of, I have hired a student. So you could do this all in one shot, essentially. The student would need to submit their documents saying that they were enrolled during that fall term by April 15th. Your pay stubs would have to be uploaded by April 30th, and then you'd submit your invoice by May 21st. For winter applications, they're quite similar. The winter application for an employer to begin their application, so just to create one, it's April 1st. To submit your completed employer eligibility, it's April 15th. To submit your student documents, it's April 30th. The pay stubs would be May 21st because the semester goes until the April 30th. So we know that you don't just have that last pay stub right away. So we give you some time to get that from your payroll. And then you'd submit the invoices May 21st. I will, Su-Ling and just so you know, I will put a Word document with all of those dates into the resource library. And I'll send you a follow-up email with the link to that. So you could always send that out to your members today as well. Because that is a lot of dates. So.
Yes, that's perfect. And we are recording this webinar as well, so people can watch this at a later date if they wanted to get the details, but that's perfect. We'll circulate that with those registered. The next question is, are postdoctoral fellow eligible for this program?
Okay, so if they are completing their postdoctor fellowship, they would not be eligible because that's after they've already left their school program. So it would still have to be in their medical degree, but the postdoctor fellowship, same as a lawyer who's articling, they would not be eligible at that point during their education.
Perfect. I think we touched on this question, but I'll ask it just in case. In addition to the current winter session, so January to April, will PSIs also be eligible recipients of the funding for this summer session, so May to August?
For PSI, so is this a university or college asking?
Yes.
So unfortunately, I can't give you a hard yes or no to that answer. We're still unsure if the COVID-19 rules are going to be kept in place moving forward into spring, summer. That is a question that as soon as I am told, I can follow up and let Leanne and Suling know. I don't have a timeline of when they're going to make that decision, fortunately. But as of right now, we have not heard of a change, but that doesn't mean that they aren't going to make a change for the spring, summer. But I will follow up as soon as I'm told so that they are able to let you know.
Perfect. And I just have one more question. So maybe after this last question, we can head into a demo if you want on an application process, and we'll see if there's any other questions after that. So the last question I have here on my list is, do you have to be a member of the Board of Trade or a chamber to use this program?
So because there are, this program is across Canada and there are other delivery partners, you do not necessarily need to be a member of a chamber or a Board of Trade. I encourage you, if you're on the call today, to apply through the Ottawa Board of Trades portal, and then to have a conversation with them about all the other benefits that go in with being a member of the Ottawa Board of Trade. Because as I mentioned, if you're going to be completing this application through their portal, you're going to be receiving so much support along the way, as well as all the other amazing things that go along with being a member of the Ottawa Board of Trade. So if you're on the call today, so you're a member, so I'm assuming you're asking for somebody else, I would encourage them to contact Leanne and Suling and have that discussion with them, but they could still complete their application through their portal, of course.
That's great.
Great.
So that is all
Thank
the questions that I have. Thank you so much. So if anyone has any other questions, just pop them in the chat. But I think if Amy's ready, we'll go into just a quick demo on the application process, just to walk you through that. So
of course. So this is what the Ottawa Board of Trade sign-in page is going to look like. So when you come into it for the first time, you're going to click create an account and you're going to sign up as an employer organization. So again, that's the questions that you're going to be asked. You'll create a password, you'll hit sign up, you'll receive an email that asks you to activate your account, and then the next time you sign in, you'd enter your details. I'm now in my demo account so that I can show you the application, but you would just enter in your details and hit sign in. So this is going to look exactly the same as the inside of the Ottawa Board of Trade portal. The first thing you see, Student Work Placement Program, SWPP, apply now. So you don't have to go and looking for anything. It's right there for you. So it's one click you're in, the next click takes you straight to Outcome Campus Connect. The first time that you log into Outcome Campus Connect, it will ask you to agree to them using your information. Because I've logged into this account, it skips that step. So I just want you to be aware of that. That's normal for the first time you log in. So you'll see on the left-hand side, it will say in green, post new or apply for SWPP wage subsidy. So post new is different than the wage subsidy. That has to do with posting the job for your placement on Outcome Campus Connect. So not all employers that are applying for the wage subsidy will need to use this button. This is why I encourage you the first time you log in to hit the apply for SWPP subsidy, because that will take you straight to the application to find out if you're eligible as the employer. So it will ask you to select your delivery partner and you will select Magnet. Again, because this is a demo environment, you will see the program overview. So it will talk about the amount that you're able to be paid out, the 75%. It will go through the whole program just as I spoke to in the slides, but because this is a demo account, there's no verbiage there for you. And it will list the terms. So if I was applying for the winter term, I'd select winter 2021. But again, as I mentioned, you guys are very fortunate. You can apply for summer 2021 now as well through the Ottawa Board of Trade portal, which is wonderful. So for today, I'm just gonna hit winter, hit next. Terms and conditions, they will again be listed here for you underneath when you scroll down. I hit next. And this is when I get into my organization information. So this is when I encourage you to have, if you're going to be posting again for the job for the placement, have this all in a Word document. So you're gonna enter your organization name. You put in your website. You let me know about your organization size. If you've had hired any students in the last federal fiscal year, so from April of 2020 until March 2021 of this year, you would put that number. Then you're going to look up your organization address. So I have an address that I've pre-populated here. Comes all up for me. I'd enter my name and my contact phone number. It's important to have contact phone number because we want to ensure that if there's ever any questions that we have about your application, that we can reach you easily. Sometimes with what we're dealing with right now, we get a lot of email traffic, and sometimes things get missed or they may go to your spam folder. So I just want to ensure that you do put a real phone number in case we ever need to reach out to you to make edits to your application. So put in your email for your organization, and you'll hit next. And this is where you talk about the placement. So you'll select the drop-down menu. You can see here all the different types of work integrated learning that you have to choose from. So for that question about the research project, you'd hit applied research project. So that's the role that you're looking for. So you can rest assured that that is part of the work integrated learning program. For today, I'm going to hit CoOp, and I'm going to enter my placement job title. So I'm going to hire a marketing coordinator. In placement job description, I'm just going to write test for today, but that's where you're going to write what it is that the student is going to be doing. So the student will be revamping my online presence, taking photos of stock and posting it on my website, be in charge of all social media postings, marketing and communications, and reaching out to create newsletters for local media. That's what you put in your job description. My placement duration in weeks, I'm going to say for today that it's going to be for 12 weeks, so for the full 3 months. My hours per week, I only need to hire somebody for 25 hours a week. And my hourly wage, they're going to be paid $20 an hour. I just want to let everybody know on the call today that if you enter 12 weeks and it becomes longer or shorter, that can be changed. If the hours you find have changed once you've hired the student, that can be edited, as well as the hourly wage. I've had employers who realized that they actually had a greater amount of finances to pay the student. So they were paying the student $25 an hour. So when we were working through their application, they let me know, and I can just make those edits for you. Even if it's later on down the road, it can always be edited for you. And then again, I'll enter my address, my city, placement start date. So I'm going to say they're going to start on February 1st, and they're going to end, let's take them all the way to the end of April based on my 12 weeks. If the placement is related to healthcare, you'll select that on. If the student is working remotely, you would put that one on as well. Then you enter your supervisor name. Sometimes it's the same as the person who's doing the application. For other companies, they actually have an assistant or an administrator who completes the application. So then you would be entering the supervisor's name of the student and their phone number, again, in case we need to contact them. That's not a number. In case we need to contact them for any reason. Their email address as well. Hit next. And this is where you goes into the student part. So if you're an employer and you have not hired a student yet, that's fine. You would hit next, and your application will come up for you to review it, and then you'd be submitting it. If you have hired a student and you have all of their information already, you're going to click this button on, and I'll show you the type of information that you'd be entering so that you're aware of what information you have to gather from the student during that hiring process. So of course, their name, their address and phone number. You'd need their student number. You need to know if they're enrolled full-time or part-time, the type of degree they're taking, the program of study, what year they're in, and what school they're attending. So all of those are important questions to ask during the interview process so that when you do complete this application, you have all of that information in front of you and you can enter it very easily. You would say if the placement is in the same province as the student's school. For some placements, people have hired students who are out in Alberta. So then they would be saying that they're not. And then you need to have a contact name for the school the student attends. So if it's Carleton University, you would all be able to put Karen, and you already have all of her information, so that makes that very quick and easy for you. So you put Karen's name and Karen's email address and the phone number of Carleton University, for example. Just so that I can show you what the next step is, I'm just going to take that off. So you'd hit next for both of them, and it will take you to the same screen. You don't, at this stage, have any documents to upload. The documents that you will be required to upload moving forward are the student will need to provide their proof of enrollment to the magnet team, and you as the employer will have to provide a copy of the first pay stub and a copy of the last pay stub. So those are documents that you will need to upload as you move forward in the application process. But at this stage, you're just going to hit next because you don't have any documents that you need to upload. And if you'd enter the student information, it would still take you to this page as well. It shows you a review of all of the information that you've entered. So at this point, if you see something is incorrect, you'd be able to go back and edit it. Very important, sounds very silly, make sure you click finish. The amount of employers that forget to hit finish and they think they've completed the application would surprise you. So ensure you click finish, and the way to know that your application has been submitted is you will receive a notification in the right-hand corner that says your application has been submitted. And to double check it, over here, it will show you your SWPP applications. So you'll be able to see your SWPP application that you just submitted, and you'll have an application ID. So if you don't receive any communications from Magnet in the course of 2 weeks, you'd be able to contact the team and say, my application number 1 to 11 was submitted on January 27th. I'm just wondering if my employer eligibility has been confirmed or not. But you will also receive communications from Magnet as soon as it takes about 2 days for your application to come through the system and for us to reach out on our end and to start beginning the review process. So if you're applying for multiple applications, you'd see all of them listed here below. So it's a really great way for you to see. I apologize that I always pick marketing coordinator, but if you had different job titles, that's how you'd be able to filter them out so you know which application you're talking about. If you are now going to post a job, you would hit post new, and it's the same process. So you'd be entering co-op education because that was the placement that you chose. You'd be hitting the winter term because that's the term that you just chose. So see how it lines up, and then you're going to select your field of study. So if I was hiring a PSW, I'd hit health and related fields, and it lists all the programs that are associated with the health and related fields. So you have the ability to check off programs that you don't want to filter students from. You'd hit next. And then this is where you could target your schools by province. So if you are only looking to find students in Ontario, or schools from Ontario, you would select Ontario. And then once I move this up, only schools that you see here will be from Ontario. I do suggest, if you are going to post a job, to post to the schools that are local to your community, or I like to say, keep it down to 5 schools. You have the ability to cast your net far and wide and put this posting out to all of the schools across Canada if you choose to. But if you decide to do that, sometimes it takes a long time for your job posting to be approved because some post-secondary institutions, they manually go through every single job posting that comes to their board. So you might not see a quick turnaround in receiving those applications for your job posting. So just something to be mindful of. That's why I always encourage you, if you know a school that is really well known for that program, select that one. And then I encourage you to select the schools that are within your local community so you can really find that talent pool within your community, which will also help moving forward and maybe securing a student into a full-time employer in the future. I won't continue on because I know we only have 1 minute, but that's the posting job.
Thank you, Amy. That's fantastic. So yes, we have 1 minute to end. So I just want to thank you both again for being here today, Leanne for organizing this, and everyone for joining us. I hope that we are able to take advantage of this program in our Ottawa business community to up our talent and support our businesses. This recording will be on our website for future reference. And as I said, you can call our OBA office or to Amy or Karen for any additional information. Thank you again for being here. We hope you have a great day, and then we'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.